What if the breakouts, the dullness, and the puffiness you see in the mirror every morning weren't caused by your skincare routine, but by something you're eating every single day? 30 days ago, I made one change. I cut sugar. Completely. No soda, no chocolate, no hidden sugars and sauces, no, just one biscuit. 30 days of zero added sugar. And what happened to my skin? Honestly, I wasn't expecting it. But I'm going to show you exactly what changed, week by week, with the science behind why it happened. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you might be seriously reconsidering that dessert tonight. Before we get into the timeline, let's talk about why sugar affects your skin in the first place, because once you understand the mechanism, everything else clicks into place. When you eat sugar, your blood glucose spikes. Your body releases insulin to bring it back down. That spike triggers a process called glycation, where sugar molecules literally attach to your collagen and elastin fibers, the proteins that keep your skin firm and springy. Once glycated, those fibers become stiff and brittle. The result: faster wrinkle formation, sagging, and a loss of that lit-from-within glow. On top of that, the insulin spike triggers an increase in androgens, hormones that ramp up oil production and clog your pores, which is a lovely recipe for acne. And it's not just the obvious sugars. Refined carbohydrates, white bread, white rice, pasta, digest so quickly they behave almost identically to pure sugar in your bloodstream. So what actually happens when you take all of that away? Let's go week by week. I'm going to be straight with you. The first week is not a glow up. It is a glow down. Days 1 through 3, I felt foggy, irritable. I had a headache that sat right behind my eyes. This is your brain adapting to the absence of a constant glucose hit. It's essentially a mild withdrawal, and it's completely normal. And my skin. It actually looked a little worse before it got better. I had 2 new spots appear by day 4. Here's why that happens. As your body stops receiving easy glucose, it shifts into a mild detox mode. Toxins that were previously masked start working their way out. Think of it like clearing a clogged pipe. Things get messy before they flow freely. But by day 6 and 7, something started to shift. The inflammation I hadn't even noticed, the low-level redness around my nose and chin, started to calm down. My skin felt slightly less reactive when I washed my face. It wasn't dramatic, but it was real. The science: sugar promotes inflammation via a protein complex called NF-κB. Even after just a few days without it, inflammatory markers begin to decrease. Your skin is a delayed indicator. It takes time for what's happening internally to show externally. Week 2 is when I started to notice things that made me actually take a second look in the mirror. The puffiness around my eyes, especially in the morning, had reduced noticeably. Sugar causes water retention and promotes the production of inflammatory compounds that show up as swelling, particularly on the face. Without that daily sugar load, the fluid balance in my skin started to normalize. My skin tone also became more even. I've had mild hyperpigmentation on my cheeks for years, and while it didn't vanish, it was visibly less prominent. This is because sugar accelerates the production of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which can contribute to uneven melanin distribution. By day 14, colleagues at work started asking me if I'd changed my skincare routine or if I was sleeping better. I hadn't changed a single product. Week 3 brought what I'd call the clarity phase. My skin looked cleaner, not just felt cleaner. The congestion I'd had around my jawline, those tiny bumps that never quite became spots but never went away either, started to smooth out. Oil production had visibly reduced. My afternoon shine, which I'd always assumed was just my skin type, was genuinely less intense. Key insight here: insulin resistance, which excess sugar consumption accelerates, is directly linked to overactive sebaceous glands. Reduce the insulin spikes, reduce the oil. It's not complicated, but it is surprisingly effective. I also noticed my skin was plumper. That sounds counterintuitive after everything I said about puffiness going down, But there's a difference between inflammatory puffiness and healthy hydration. Without sugar damaging my collagen, my skin was retaining moisture more effectively at a cellular level. By the final week, I felt like I'd stumbled on a cheat code that had been hidden in plain sight my entire adult life. My skin had a luminosity that I genuinely hadn't seen since my early 20s. Not the bright, almost plastic look you get with a new highlighter, more like the glow that comes from within, where light bounces off your skin rather than sitting flat on it. Collagen doesn't rebuild overnight, but 30 days is long enough for early repair to begin. Fine lines around my forehead looked softer. Not gone, let's be realistic, but softened. Which makes sense. When ages stop cross-linking your collagen fibers, existing fibers retain more elasticity. My skin texture had transformed most dramatically. The subtle roughness I'd always had, visible when the light caught my cheek at an angle, was significantly smoother. Cell turnover improves when inflammation decreases, and healthy new cells rise to the surface faster. And breakouts? I had 0 new spots in the final 2 weeks. 0. For someone who'd had at least one hormonal spot every cycle for the last decade, that alone felt like a revelation. Now, I won't pretend sugar was the only variable. I was sleeping well during this period, staying hydrated, and eating more whole foods by default because I wasn't snacking on processed things. But those factors support the change, they don't explain all of it. The research backs this up. Multiple clinical studies have found significant skin improvement in participants who followed a low glycemic diet for 4 weeks or more, independent of other lifestyle factors. So here's the thing. You don't need an expensive serum. You don't need a 10-step routine. You might just need to look at what's on your plate. 30 days is not that long. It is long enough to give your skin the chance to show you what it can actually do without sugar working against it every single day. If you want to try this, I'd suggest starting with the obvious sources first: sugary drinks, sweets, desserts, and tracking how your skin changes over 4 weeks. Take a photo on day 1, same lighting, same time of day. You might be surprised. If you found this useful, please give this video a like. It genuinely helps more people find it. And subscribe if you want to follow along, because next week I'm going into the exact foods I ate to replace the sugar cravings without feeling deprived. Drop a comment below. Have you ever tried cutting sugar and noticed a difference in your skin? I want to know.